live.
Okay.
Welcome to our world of toys.
Am I just clicking on my picture?
Load up.
Is this? Maybe click on this. There we go.
Yay!
It's jumping a lot. Like it's flashing on and off and on and off. Is that a problem or? And now it's just kind of running.
Got 5 people tuned in, 7 people. If you can hear us and see us, let us know. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you guys, I'm having a little issue here. So if someone could let me know if you can hear us and see us okay. Because this does not look right to me. So
Yeah, it's being strange, huh?
give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay. So they're saying yes.
Yeah, it seems like
Okay, we can hear and see you, and it sounds good. So maybe it's just on my end.
Yours is Jack. Let's try a different account here.
Okay. Well, I'll let Polly try to figure this out for me. So while we wait for a few people, thank you very much. While we wait for a few people to tune in, I do want to invite you guys to check out our monthly walk-in night psychic fair. $15 gets you 2 readings or reading and a healing. Tickets are on sale now. Go into my website. Link is in the bio to get your tickets. It's the last weekend of every month. This month, it falls on the 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And monthly walk-in nights, these psychic fairs showcase my students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. All right, we also have, if you guys missed last week's free mini class here, it was psychology, therapy, and spirituality, how they're intertwined. So we have almost like a part 2 going on this week called The War on Intuition. And that's Wednesday, the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern. The cat's trying to get in. Okay, then we have Shadow Work Part 2. If you guys missed Shadow Work Part 1, you can go into my playlist here to check out the free mini classes. But Shadow Work Part 2 is on secrets, karma, and contracts. So this will be me and Christina Del Rey, our astrologer. That's going to be Wednesday, June 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you guys missed Reiki training 2 days ago, you could still get the video download, okay? So go onto the website, get that for yourself. And if you guys missed registration for the Psychic Mediumship course that just started, we're opening up the early bird wait list again for the next round. So go to psychicmediumshipcourse.com to get on the early bird list so you can get a seat for the upcoming class. All right, looks like we have a few people tuning in. I just want to let you guys know that you can post your questions now. So this is my Monday night show, Ask Ivy. I'm going to be taking your personal questions. And we do ask that you include names of anyone that you're referring to, living or deceased. Paul, my adorable producer. How are you, Polly?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. So Paul will be taking those questions. And I do want to ask that you guys right now go ahead and give this video a thumbs up for me. All right, do we have a few coming in?
Yeah, just seems like the thing got a little wonky.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it too.
Okay, here's a couple
Okay, well, I still have to do my intro, but
Yes. Yes.
okay. All right. Isn't this adorable? So this was I don't know if you guys could see this. So it looks almost like a milkshake cup. It's like round on the top, and the straw is like multicolored. It looks like the old sticks of candy, and it's like rainbow all the way around. Isn't this cute? So Paulie gifted this to me from out of the blue. He went into Starbucks to grab me something and came out with this too. I love this thing.
Yeah, that place is dangerous. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, I guess they had their summer lineup, so you could just easily drop $100 in there. But it keeps the water flowing, and that's worth the price. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally in everything ranging from psychic mediumship development, Reiki, astrology, numerology, tarot, meditation, paranormal, empathic awareness. We train children as well as adults. Hope to see you there for classes. What you've caught tonight is my Monday night Ask Ivy show, where I take your personal questions. We can also, if you want to see a full list of mini classes I've been doing since the pandemic hit, it's called the Quarantine Series. You can hit the playlist and check those out as well. So post your questions and do include names of anyone you're referring to, living or deceased. Feel free to subscribe if all of this sounds like something you're interested in, and if you want to become a member for all kinds of extras, direct spirit messages, additional curriculum, your monthly horoscope, you can hit the join button and look at the 3 tiers. And I do appreciate donations, so feel free to hit that donation button. Susanna already left a donation, and that's very much appreciated. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah, I do. I forgot to put this in your notes, but I do want to let people know that starting the first week of June, we have weekly horoscopes coming back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I'm bringing back weekly horoscopes. They're going to be a little different than what I used to do. But that starts, the first week of June. We're going to relaunch. So every week, every zodiac sign will get a little tidbit on what they should be paying attention to. So feel free to subscribe here, but also hit that bell. You'll get the notification, the alert when I post. Okay.
Okay. So the first one here is from Ray.
Okay.
It's asking, do people use Reiki to help people with mental illness? I don't know much about it, and I was just wondering.
Well, we use Reiki for anything. So Reiki is intelligent energy. The definition of Reiki is energy that comes from the divine in the universe and is intelligent enough to channel to whatever parts of the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit, past life, emotional, mental, whatever. It knows where to go, and it brings healing to that area. So if somebody is dealing with something that can be healed by Reiki energy, then it very well could be. I don't know a ton of Reiki practitioners that specialize in different things, but I personally have. And I have found that working with the mental energy has helped me as a practitioner. I mostly worked with people who were having trouble conceiving, who couldn't let go of toxic thoughts, and they were blocking the pregnancy. I also worked with a lot of people who were addicted. They were dealing with all different kinds of addiction, but I was especially successful in helping people to stop smoking and weight loss. And so I think that if you're asking about it curing like a mental illness, anything's possible. Absolutely. And I would think of that more as like a psychic surgery type of thing. But, you know, when we're talking about changing a mentality to live better, we could still be talking about maintenance, not elimination. And that's probably more common.
Okay. This Alejandra. Have I been depleted from my positive energy?
Well, I think that just the fact that you're asking is a sign that you've been depleted of your positive energy. But it's funny the way you ask it is almost like, you know, it's like this cup. And if I were to just dump this cup, it's like it would forever be empty. And that's just not how it works. You know, all you have to do is tweak things or, you know, to refill it. And so like, it's not this sort of finite situation. I think that you are being depleted, and I think that you know that, and you asking and giving it the attention that it deserves is the most loving thing that you could be doing right now. But you're definitely going to have to make significant changes in your life in order to refill it. It's not just going to like magically happen, just as you don't magically get depleted. Okay, so it's a process, and you have to look at where that's coming from. Where are your drains? Who around you is draining, and how, in your particular case, not that you asked, but I want to just, you know, say this part. I think you need to stop over giving. I think you need to stop over worrying. And I think you need to get your head on straight. I think you need to be more rooted and grounded and centered. And you need to stop thinking about things that are none of your business. Stay in your lane. I have a free mini class up here. Go to my playlist called Stay in Your Lane. If you don't learn how to do that, you're never going to get that energy back. Okay. Comes my killer cat.
You have a visitor.
Hey, Bubba.
All right, we have one from Norma.
Norma.
I feel like I can sometimes feel a spirit near me. Is it my mom, Norma, or a stranger, or something negative? Because I feel scared sometimes.
It's all kinds of things. So, you know, we don't want to think of the world as being just made up of like one spirit that we know. You know, we have to acknowledge that all human beings are mediums. It's not a choice, and it's not a gift. So spirits are drawn to you. You're a human being. And when your mom passed, your intuitive abilities would have increased. So more spirits would have been drawn to you. And that can get confusing. So mediumistic abilities increase every time we lose a loved one. And that's for the purpose of us being able to connect and communicate with them and to stay in touch. But because we don't learn the language, because we don't properly train, we don't really understand it as being that. And we don't have enough discernment to understand when they're negative spirits, or they're just random spirits, or they are in fact our loved one. And so I think that you need to learn the language. I think that you have a multitude. There's a lot of different energy going on. And sometimes it is your mom. Yeah, but no, not always. And it wouldn't work that way ever. Okay, but you're definitely more intuitive than you were. Yeah.
Okay. This one is from Autumn.
Autumn.
I met Tim last week and immediately felt a connection with him. Can you please give me insight on this? Is Tim my person?
I feel that Tim is really good at being personable. I think that there's a lot of sociability going on there between the two of you. And I think that you're really ready. And so when you're ready to meet the one, you know, you can create these great connections with the people that you date. And it's this very wide open, positive energy that you bring to the table. So I think that a lot of the connection that was made there was actually coming from you. And I think it's important not to overcredit him. I think that he does bring some great energy to the table. But I also feel that he may have some stuff he's dealing with that is actually quite heavy and quite dark and quite old. Okay, so when we meet someone and they have these great qualities and we see so much potential for what the relationship could be, I think it's also important not to necessarily think of that, see their potential. Okay, so when you look at him, we don't want to see potential. We want to see him for who he actually is now. And that could take a while to reveal itself. So I think, you know, keep your cards close to your vest, enjoy yourself, have a good time. But should you see some red flags where you realize that this individual has not done their self-care, their shadow work, self-work, you know, take that literally. Okay.
Okay. This one is from Susanna.
Okay.
I was wondering if I have any messages from the other side, my grandma, Bonnie.
Susanna from Bonnie. I do have Bonnie here, but I have another lady here who would have had dark hair when she was younger. I feel small. I feel one is telling me small, like small and mighty. And a gentleman also who would have been lean and busy. I mean, just like this guy never sits down. He's one of these people who like goes, and then he sits down and he's sleeping. And like you couldn't wake him up out of that, you know, and then he's up and he just goes. So he's also been watching over you. I feel like they knew you were going to be here tonight. So I don't know if they led you here or if you said something to them, but they definitely knew this was happening, obviously. But when I go over here with Bonnie in particular, okay, so they love you very much. Bonnie is showing your hands being very busy. And that can mean that you're dealing with healing for yourself, getting more invested in healing for others. It's also a sign of creativity. And I feel like you're trying to cultivate your life right now. It's almost like if you were digging in the dirt and you were getting ready to plant some seeds to harvest things. It's like she's watching you do this and sometimes is actively participating with you while you do this. Your other grandmother, though, or the other lady who was here, she shows your hands opening and her and the gentleman have a peace dove flying out. And so that can also mean that you're making peace with some issue in your life and that you are finding a way to be more authentically yourself. Okay, and still and centered. And they feel great about all of that. I really do feel like nature is your church also. And Bonnie says almost like she's having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea with you while you enjoy nature. Okay, and so even if it's just like in your yard, that's really important to do. And they all tend to send birds to you. So you may have a lot of winged animals, including butterflies coming at you. And that's a whole other story. But yes, absolutely.
All right. We have one here from Chris with a K.
Okay.
I constantly feel like I'm losing my mind. Why do I feel everyone else's emotions?
Okay, so yeah, join the club. Welcome. I understand that. So we just did a free mini class last week. So go to the playlist. It was called Psychology, Therapy, and Spirituality. How are they intertwined? That'll help break it down for you a little bit, but you need to take a class called Empathic Awareness. And Paul could put that in the comment section, please, Paul. Thank you. So Empathic Awareness is a 2-hour training that breaks down why we go through the changes that we go through, leading ultimately to a place where we feel like we're going mentally ill. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but you would even probably go to a doctor and they would tell you that you're mentally ill. It's very common to see misdiagnoses and over-medicating and also hospitalization sometimes, but they never get to the root issue because they deny that psychic ability exists. They deny that intuitive abilities exist, especially mediumship, and it's real. Okay, so we will see these results from an overstimulation, overabsorption of energy around us. And it starts at the first and the second level of empathic ability. But once you hit the third and the fourth levels, that's when we really see the misdiagnoses, the medication, stuff like this. So you want to get an upper hand on it right away, especially when, and this is for anyone listening to Chris's question, and thank you for being bold enough to ask that question because a lot of people are like ashamed or hiding, and it's a natural part of the intuitive development in our society because we negate it. So that's natural that would happen to you. It's not like anyone's teaching you, educating you, helping you to cope. As it increases over the years, you're going to end up in that predicament. We all do at some point. And I like the way you said, why do I feel like I'm going crazy? What has happened with me? If there was anything that triggered you in the last couple years, birth of a child, pregnancy, death of a loved one, trauma, divorce, I mean, there are a million things, but we cover that in the empathic awareness class. You need to understand that as you increased, you should have been dealing with those abilities, and this is natural. Okay, and we could just get the upper hand on it. You just need to get educated. Summer bugs. Summer bugs.
They come in with the cats. This is from, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to say noses. Noses.
Thank you, Shauna, for the donation.
Noses.
Noses. Okay.
Am I going to pay my property debt quickly or long term?
I feel like you could pay it quickly, and I am wondering where you got this bout of money. So I'm wondering if something comes in that allows you to do that. But I think that if you were to do it that way, it could be more like 3 sections or 3 separate installments or, payments. I think the smarter thing to do may be the long term, and that may be like offered to you. Okay, so you may have multiple options here. I just there are pros and cons to each one, and I think that getting it done and over with, here's a good way to say that. Getting it done and over with can feel great and seem real smart at the time, but after that first initial payment, it could become more difficult. And you don't want to get yourself in a sticky spot. We don't want any more issues, with it. So slow and steady may win the race on this one.
Hey, I want to take a quick second to thank everyone who's donated. Susanna, Jessica, Shauna, everyone, thank you so much. And you're getting plenty of thank yous from all these questions, especially that last one. Tons of emojis. It's a good crowd, good crew. Great questions tonight, too. Thank you. Keep them coming.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, it's good to see you guys. And thank you again, yes, for those donations. All right. Who's next?
Next up, we have Claire.
Claire
says, will a baby orb come to you? I've just had a red, green, a yellow, and blue orb come to me. End of my cycle in my awakening.
Okay. Sure. I mean, a lot of orbs will come. A lot of spirits will come. Are they babies? Sometimes they could be babies. Absolutely. Just the fact that you're asking about them. I'm able to channel unborn children sent back. I mean, whatever the situation is. Yeah, absolutely. That can happen. I think that, we don't want to necessarily assume that every orb we see is a child, is a baby. We tend to see most spirits actually come through as orbs, especially if they have crossed over into the light, and we see angels come through as orbs. Angels may also come through as flashes of light out of the corner of your eye, really bright lights, white orbs, and cascading, sparkling lights. And so when the angels are around, that would mean that you're really in need of some significant healing. Okay, so that's what they do. And the rest of the orbs could be all kinds of spirits. But yeah, definitely possible. Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one is from Danny.
Okay. Danny. Hi.
She's asking, I was wondering if you could share how things will continue to go for me at work at the university.
At work at the university. I feel what looks like a promotion coming up. There's talk of anywhere from the next month to all the way up through the next year. And that's, kind of and maybe COVID is part of it, but we have some wiggle room here with it. I don't feel that with this wiggle room, meaning timeline can be adjusted. It can happen faster. It will not happen later, but it may happen faster. I don't feel there's anything that you need to do to make it happen faster. I also feel like you have checked off, and I have your mom here who she just keeps doing this to you. How beautiful you are, and this smile. And she says how she lights up when you light up. So you give this smile to the world, and she said that you're just like like a light bulb, like you just turn on and you shine, you glow, and that she's helping you with this process, but that it is also like you've already checked everything off your list. Now, technically you didn't. There's still one more thing that you're going to be getting done, but you already bring your A game to work, and you just need to maintain what you've been doing. Now, after this happens, it does seem that there's been chatter about this promotion, and what I was feeling with the promotion originally was that it was almost not a lateral move necessarily, but and the way your mom shows it to me is that it's something you wanted. So there's something you wanted to do, projects you wanted to be able to get your hands on. And she's saying get your hands dirty. And so that has everything to do with your creativity, having more liberty, and being able to use your free will to dictate what it is that you do there. And in particular, I feel with the students. And so there could be more speaking, there could be more teaching, there could be more organization in specified areas that you're really passionate or interested in. And so I guess to me, it felt kind of like a lateral move because I didn't see necessarily a huge pay increase. It was almost like a change. So yeah, that's what they're mentioning. There will be more, but that first. Yep, looks good. She loves you very much. Okay.
We have one from Jessica.
Jessica?
Can you tell me anything about my deceased grandma and grandpa from my mom's side, and their names Buenaventura and Miguel?
You know, it's funny because I was feeling native, and I was wondering if you were Taino or if there was Hispanic, in there. And then I felt that they may have been somewhat disenfranchised. Okay, so what they're showing me here is that they may have come from a difficult place financially, and him especially. I mean, he was very, very skilled at getting what he needed and providing others with what they need, okay, in the family. She was very skilled at working with very little. And so she shows me, like, for example, like making a meal, she could have really had almost nothing and would have been able to use whether it's like tomatoes or some kind of spaghetti sauce or something, and would have just put it on the little bit that she had, stretching everything further. And it was delicious and she did well. So, she has a really optimistic way. She may have been kind of like busty, and I almost feel like a real round face. I see these dimples, and I feel like you take on some of her looks, especially in through here and with the eyes. And he mentions you take on his character, like his personality, in a lot of ways, especially in regards to being a hard worker, like you have tunnel vision. I pity the fool, right? Who tries to like take something from you to take your bone. It's like you're able to become really fixated on something and follow through. Nothing can distract you. Sometimes that works against you. Be careful with being stubborn. But I feel that with grandma, there's a lot of talk of her being very optimistic and even kind of bubbly sometimes, and being positive and very spiritually connected. And this is where I want to go back to the native roots. Okay, so very spiritually connected. And she says, you get this from her. I also saw them divided at one point, and I didn't necessarily feel like it was a divorce, but I do feel that something would have happened where they had to be separated for a while. And it could have been financially related. Anyways, that's for another day. But yeah, so there's a lot there. But they absolutely adore you, and you're really quite a combination of the two of them.
That's awesome. Okay, we have one from Pure Energy.
Pure Energy?
Yeah. Why every time that I try to relax or visualize, I feel something on my skin? It keeps me really stressed and is annoying for like a year.
Something on your skin? Like where, in what? That could be a million things. Let me see what I'm getting with that. Well, it's funny, your name too, right? Pure Energy. Like, what drew you to that name? Well, this is all about energy. Okay, so it's all about feeling things in your body. As we become more intuitive, our physical messaging system acts up. So if you go onto my TikTok, and that's really kind of the only place I talk about it a ton, go onto my TikTok at Ask Ivy and look at my videos on body symbology. I train you in, it's a 2-hour training in body symbology through my psychic mediumship course. So we have different parts of the body that mean different things. And so at any given time, you can get what I call a physical impression that is indicating a message to you. Now, it's not necessarily coming from a spirit, but it could be. It's usually coming from your higher mind. So you could say psychically, you give yourself readings every day by physical trigger.
Okay, this one here is from Bernadette.
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 Hi, Bernadette.
Margaret passed away 6 years ago. Does she have any messages for me? I feel like she might.
Did you say Margaret?
Yeah.
Margaret. Okay. When Margaret comes in here, she's busy, and her feet are constantly moving. She is all about consistently going forward in life. And I feel not being tied down, not being burdened, not being weighed down by other people's nonsense, by the hecticness of life or the world, being the toxic place that it is. She wants to keep on going. And she said that she's proud of you because you've also taken on this attitude. And I feel that a lot of it is innate. For both of you, but it's like you guys, and what she wants to make sure with you right now is that you consistently move forward and keep other people's stuff or negative energy around you where it belongs, right outside of you. And I think you've been getting more focused with this. She shows your eyes focusing in on your own business, and that you're colorful. She gets a kick out of watching you because it's almost like, oh, look, there's a butterfly and, something shiny over here and a squirrel. And it's like you like to look and you like to know. And so you're easily distracted and you're passionate about life and others. And so, that could be a sign of a lot of healing ability that wants to go out. Okay. I would recommend getting more into giving healings. In some of the ways that we do here. And I think that would be a great outlet for you to help you to stay more centered and focus on your own stuff. She also sees you picking up books. So training, education, reading more for pleasure too. And she's enjoying that. She said you're learning a lot. And it's almost like this new journey for you. And I felt with your feet, she kept showing your feet sort of shuffling. And so I'm wondering if you're afraid to take some steps in a couple key areas where, we don't have time to get into it today, but if there are places or with people where you're afraid to really take steps, you're kind of shuffling along, it's reaching a point where it's going to slow you down. Okay, so you have to be bold in doing that. And she just wants you to know she has your back. She also comes through with a gentleman who looks a bit older to me, watches over you in a paternal way, and another guy who seems younger and watches over you in almost like a brotherly kind of a way. Okay, he would have had darker hair, possibly smoked or had a cancerous condition. So she comes in with good company. You're in very good company.
Okay, here's one from Julia. Could you tell me if the producers of a TV show I signed up for will be in contact shortly? And I have 3 names. There's Jose, Thiago, and Rodrigo.
Well, I feel energy from Jose and Rodrigo, and I think that you probably will be hearing back. I heard 3. Could be 3 days, could be 3 weeks. We'll see. But it feels to me like there could be a conversation that has a follow-up conversation. So maybe just getting on the same page, understanding that we do want to move forward, and then having a separate conversation after that that would be almost more like contractual or looking at details, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. And it feels like at that point you may be talking to the other guy, whoever you mentioned in the middle there. And so, a little bit back and forth. Rodrigo, though, seems to be the most interactive. And I feel him being the one who's kind of like, high energy and putting this thing together. Jose feels like he has the ultimate say somehow. Okay, so I think that this will be good. And I think that the project, when they're doing well, the project has a great way of picking up speed and really having a lot of follow through. And so that's also reassuring to see.
Okay. We have one here from Marie. Yeah. It says, I'm wondering if I am on the right track with my writings. I am an author, and I don't understand this part here. It says, like future things, but you're saying signings, movie opportunities, or anything else.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I saw you writing in like a cryptic way. And so maybe that was just this message.
Certainly.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought I saw you writing in like hieroglyphics or something. All right. So the question is, will she have book signings and all of this? Do I see it coming? I do. I think that in some ways it's not exactly what you want or imagine, but I do think that it'll be happening. And I have one project in particular, and that does feel like the one that you just put out or the one that you're putting out right now. And I think it's that one that really leads you into, especially the book signing. It's also something that you're going to be expected to dictate more. So it's not necessarily like a big publisher coming in and saying, oh, I'm going to sweep you off here. We're sending you here. We're sending you here and here. It's more like you have to instigate a lot of this. You have to initiate a lot of this. And I feel fine about that. I think that it can sometimes lead to a bit of burnout. And so it's going to be really important not to, you have grandfather here who says it's not quantity, it's quality. Okay. So yeah, it looks good. I think a lot of congratulations are in order here for you guys tonight. I'm seeing a lot of themes here with this particular group tonight in breakthroughs, and that's super exciting, especially after everything we have been through in the last couple of years here. So deserving, and I think we all just need to like celebrate for each other that, you know, we do have rainbow days. That's awesome. All right, you guys. So we are at time. Please do subscribe, give this a thumbs up, and I will see you for this week's free mini class. That is going to be the War on Intuition, and it's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, back here and on TikTok at Ask Ivy. Thank you, Polly.
You are very welcome.
Thank you, Spirit. Have a great night, everyone.